अभी मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहती हूँ आवर फर्स्ट प्रेजेंटर प्रोफेसर बनमली बिस्वाल जी, the Dean of Academic Affairs and Students' Welfare, Central Sanskrit University, New Delhi. And the topic of his presentation is Shri Aurobindo and his creative writings, with special reference to Bhavani Bharati. Okay. So our next participant is Dr. Kali Prasanna Satpathy ji, the Vice President of Divine Life Society, Kendrapara branch, Orissa. The next participant is Dr. Anil Kumar, Assistant Professor in Sahitya Department, Professor in Sahitya Department, Central Sanskrit University. And our last presenter of this session is Abhishek Tripathi ji, doctoral student at the Psychology and Cognitive Science Department, Sapienza University, Rome. So now I would invite Professor Banamali Biswal ji for the presentation. Samprati aham nimantriyami Pracharyam Banamali Biswal Mahodayam. Banamali Biswal Mahodayam. Krapaya manchamam agachattu.
डिस्प्ले की जरूरत नहीं है। नहीं पीपीटी है प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए, कोई ऐसे नहीं, कुछ नहीं दिया अभी, जो भी देंगे बाद में दे देंगे।
आपको पीपीटी से करना
दिखाने की जरूरत
नहीं जरूरत है।
आप कंफर्टेबल बैठिए। मैं कर सकते, कोई जो है उसी को तो मैं बताऊंगा अभी। कोई ऐसा दिखाने लायक दिखाना है? दिस इज फॉर माय प्रेजेंटेशन। पीपीटी इज देयर।
आपके पास पेन ड्राइव कुछ है?
पेन ड्राइव है इधर, लाऊं?
आपसे शुरू कर लीजिए, हम लगा देंगे प्रेजेंटेशन।
नहीं, फिर बाद में तो डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा। करना तो अभी कर दें, नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं। मुझे नहीं, ऐसे ही मैं कर दूँगा, कोई ऐसा है नहीं।
ये
कभी नहीं हो रहा है।
हो रहा है। आपसे शुरू कर दीजिए, मैं ही कर देती हूँ। कॉपी इसमें कौन सा नया है?
ये वाला ना,
ये है।
ये वाला तो एक ही तो है।
एक मिनट, रिमूवल
नहीं, पेस्ट कर दे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। इसमें पेस्ट हो जाएगा। I will paste, no problem. Yeah, okay. नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंदे तम् अरविंदं च महामनां महर्षिणं साहित्य सर्जकं वंदे सर्जकानां शिरोमणिं। कैवल्योपनिषद विद्या येन दत्ता सुमेधया दत्तार बिंदनाम्नैव चोपनिषद तथा परा। श्री अरविंदोपनिषद। सावित्र्याख्यं महाकाव्यं दत्तं विश्वाय येन वै लोककल्याण मंत्रश्च मंत्रेणोपहृतः क्वचित्। येन तांत्रिक सिद्धिश्च प्रकरणैः सुकल्पिता। तांत्रिक सिद्धि प्रकरणम। येन तांत्रिक सिद्धिश्च प्रकरणैः सुकल्पिता सप्तचतुष्टयं कृत्वा स्वप्रतिभा प्रमाणिता। लिखिता न्याङ्ग्ल काव्यानि भिन्नरसान्वितानि वै संकलनं तेषां नैक पुस्तकेषु प्रकाशितम्। अनुदितानि काव्यानि तस्य भाषान्तरेषु वै तस्य काव्यरहस्यानि क्वचित् ज्ञातानि सर्वथा। स्वतंत्रता प्रदानार्थं राष्ट्राय चांग्लशासनात् आंग्लकाव्यं कृतं तेन नाम्ना भवानी मंदिरम्। संस्कृतेनैव राष्ट्रस्य जागरणं भवेत् क्वचित् राष्ट्रजागरणार्थं वै कृता भवानी भारती। दृष्टं रूपं भवान्याश्च येन भारतमातरि वंदे तं राष्ट्रभक्तं च राष्ट्ररक्षापरायणं। राष्ट्रसेवा कृता येन देवीं मत्वैव भारतं भारतवरपुत्रं तं वयं नूमः सभक्तिकम्। A very good forenoon to all of you. At the outset, I'd like to thank and congratulate the organizers who have taken pain to organize this national seminar. Dr. Sampadanand Mishra ji, the director of Rishihood University, and the Vice Chancellor of Central Sanskrit University, Professor Shri Aurobindo ji, who has agreed to collaborate this national seminar. I welcome all my friends who are now the part of this national seminar on Shri Aurobindo and Sanskrit to observe his 150th birth anniversary. I welcome and congratulate our friend Professor Rabindra Kumar Pandaji, who is presiding this session, and I welcome all my well-wishers and friends, senior friends, Professor Prafulla Kumar Mishra ji, Professor Arun Kumar Mishra ji, Professor Shweta Prajapati ji, Dr. Lala Shankar Goyal ji, Dr. Purnachandra Upadhyay ji, Dr. Anil Kumar ji, Dr. Kali Prasanna Satpathy ji, and others. Shri Aurobindo, the great poet, philosopher, and spiritualist, has written many books to his credit. Prominent amongst them are Savitri, Shri Aurobindo Upanishad, Tantrika Siddhi Prakaranam, Kaivalya Upanishad Vidya, Sapta Chatushtayam, Mantraha, and Bhavani Bharati, etc. Besides, he has written several English poems compiled in his collected poems. In Bengali, he wrote Usaharan Kavya and Jagannather Rath, Chariot on Jagannath, Chariot of Jagannath. As per the title of my presentation, I will concentrate only on his creative writings. That means, obviously, I will confine myself to Savitri, Bhavani Bharati, and his collected poems with a special reference to Bhavani Bharati. But before that, I will have a few words on Shri Aurobindo's personal profile. Shri Aurobindo was a person of multiple talents and accomplishments. He was a Rishi, or rather Maharshi, the founder of integral yoga, the prophet of the life divine, a fierce patriot and a revolutionary, a renowned scholar and Vedic translator, an unrivaled teacher, and an exceptional poet, playwright, critic, and prose writer. Many of his contemporaries recognized the superhuman potential in him as a man of letters in excelsis, or master of prose art, and a dramatist and poet of tremendous force and versatility. Shri Aurobindo is the principal subject of attention today, as the central theme of this national seminar is based on him. KRS Iyengar is of the opinion that all aspects of Shri Aurobindo's many-faceted personality are all of a piece, or rather, it is the same diamond, the immortal diamond with different facets, torn to our gaze at different times. Shri Aurobindo once wrote, "No one can write about my life because it has not been on the surface for men to see. Therefore, before attempting to discuss his writings, we should have some understanding of his multifaceted life." Shri Aurobindo was a skilled poet who composed sonnets, epics, large narrative poems, and lyrics with a high level of artistic competence. In a style similar to Dante's Commedia, his Savitri transforms philosophy into the epic and dramatic form of Indian mythology. Shri Aurobindo was captivated by the epic form as it appeared in both Sanskrit and European heritage. In a long, unfinished poem, Ilion, he had essayed an epic parallel to Homer's Iliad, embodying Indian as well as Greek characters. Shri Aurobindo has developed such a definition of poetry which is noteworthy for its visionary spiritual quality. According to him, pleasure alone is not the purpose of poetry or art. He says, the highest art is that which by an inspired use of significant and interpretive form unseals the doors of the spirit. So I want some water if somebody can provide me. Is it there? Oh, I will take. Yes, ma'am. Its main objective is to give the inner imaginative delight. Shri Aurobindo describes mantric poetry as the ultimate type of poetry in his definition of poetry. To define poetry, he says, mantras comes as an expression of great heights of inner freedom. I quote him, a mightier race shall inhabit the mortal's world on nature's luminous tops on the spirit's ground. The Superman shall reign as a king of life, make earth almost the male and peer of heaven. Shri Aurobindo's poetry and poetic philosophy have a futuristic feelings. He sees human beings as developing beings with capacities. The human being is in transition. He is advancing to attain supermanhood. That is overmind consciousness or spiritual perfection. According to Shri Aurobindo, an eternal perfection is shaping us into its own image. As a philosopher and mystic, he lived as the Mahayogi of the Pondicherry ashram and was revered and even worshipped by thousands of his followers. However, Shri Aurobindo was mostly known for his poetry. His entire body of poetry is mystical. In Indian English poetry, he is the foremost poet philosopher, poet prophet, and poet visionary. However, that I am already uttering these lines, so if you don't see, there is no problem. However, Shri Aurobindo's early poetry was influenced by the dissident writers. He adored and mimicked the great English poets like Milton, Keats, Tennyson, and Browning, along with his brother Manmohan Ghosh. But in his latter poetry, he reverted back to his own literary and cultural roots. Shri Aurobindo produced over 3,000 pages of poetry in the time span of 60 years. Chandidas and Jnanadas are two of his earliest poems. He skillfully captures the sweetness of their feelings as well as the original's spirit. He translated the Meghadutam, Vikramorvarsiyam of Kalidasa, and Niti Shatakam of Bhartruhari from Sanskrit. He captioned Vikramorvarsiyam in English as the hero and the nymph. Shri Aurobindo as a patriotic poet. Chittaranjan Das praised Shri Aurobindo as the poet of patriotism as the prophet of nationalism and the lover of humanity. He was a committed revolutionary and nationalist who worked tirelessly for India's freedom. His poetry is notable for conveying his fervent patriotism and love of freedom in a few selected poems. I would like to quote a couple of examples in this connection from his Baji Prabhav and Bhavani Mandir. Baji Prabhav, published in 1909. His well-known poem, Baji Prabhav, honors Baji Prabhav Deshpande's great sacrifice of giving his life to ensure the liberation of the country. It anticipated a sudden emergence of tribe of Baji Prabhus. Exhorting his countrymen, Baji urged his fellow citizens to exploit the current era of freedom for the motherland. Death cannot deter the brave patriots from their noble pursuit of attaining freedom. In the twilight, Baji Prabhu exhorted his countrymen, "Make iron of your souls," I quote, "make iron of your souls, yet it Bhavani wills strength, and this word can stray our nation's future from overthrow till victory with Shivaji return." So I have got a note to complete it within 2 minutes. I have 52 slides and I have covered only 13 slides. Okay, within 5 minutes I will just complete. So I did not read line by line. This is Bhavani Mandir. Shri Aurobindo was lured into Bengal's epicenter of revolutionary movements in 1905. In honor of Bhavani, he wrote Bhavani Mandir, a handbook for revolutionaries. So I have quoted some poems from this Bhavani Mandir. Shri Aurobindo urges his compatriots to abandon their incredible apathy and rise up with all of their might to free their motherland. The poetry and mysticism of Bhavani Mandir may be felt in its statement that this boundless energy or pure Shakti is Bhavani. She is also the adored Durga, Kali, Radha and Lakshmi. She is our mother and the creatress of all of us. The poem Bhavani Mandir is filled with intense lyrical feelings such as what is our country, what nation is our motherland, etc., etc. So instead of going into detail, so next point is, so mysticism in Aurobindo's poetry. According to Shri Aurobindo, mysticism is a temper rather than a doctrine, an atmosphere rather than a system of philosophy. The basic fact of mysticism may be described as an attitude of mind founded upon an instinctive or an experienced conviction of unity, of oneness, of likeliness in all things. So these things are there. I have quoted few poems from the point of view of mysticism also. So I will skip those slides and the poetic art and craftsmanship of Shri Aurobindo. That is a point, and I have quoted some poems of these Aurobindo's English poems. That is, and Shri Aurobindo's Savitri as an epic. The epic Savitri is Shri Aurobindo's magnum opus, which was posthumously published in 1954. So it is published in some parts. Okay, I'm completing. No, don't worry. So these other points as modernism in Savitri, that is there. Shri Aurobindo's Bhavani Bharati. So some slides are on that also. So I have to complete. So in Bhavani, coming to this Bhavani Bharati. So Bhavani Bharati opens with a beautiful verse. Sukhe nimagnaha sayane jadasam madhoscha rathyasu manaschacara sachintayamasa kulani kavyam दारांश्च भोगांश्च सुखम धनानि. तो जब मैं सो रहा था तो मेरे मन में, मेरा मन, मधु मतलब बसंत, बसंत के मार्ग में चलने लगा, चल पड़ा, ऐसा कुछ है. सचिंतयामास कुलानि काव्यम दारांश्च भोगांश्च सुखम धनानि. फिर इसके बाद आई थॉट ऑफ माई पीपल. Okay, no problem. Of poetry, of wife and enjoyments, pleasure and passions. So I want to quote some verses from Bhavani Bharati, then I will conclude my speech. So the second verse, Kanteishcha Srungara Juteishcha Hrusto. I need not explain the verse. So why I am reciting this, I like these verses and I have collected them, so I want to utter. So I get satisfaction by uttering this. This is the thing. Kanteishcha Sungara Juteishcha Hrusto Ganehi Rasa Sachando Lalitam Babandha Jagoucha Kanta Badanam Sahasyam Pujyecha Matruscharane Garishte Chakranda Bhumihi Paruto Parito Madiya खलो हि पुत्रा नसुरो ममर्द स्वार्थेन नीतोहमनर्च पादे दुरात्मनो भातृवधेन लिप्ते सुखम मृदावास्तरणे शयानम सुखानि भोगान वसुचिंतयन्तम पस्पर्श भीमेन करेण वक्ष्यः प्रत्यक्ष मक्ष्णोश्च बभूव काली. तो जो व्यथा से कविता आती है, कविता उपजती है, ये भी एक निदर्शन अरविंद की ये भवानी भारती है. तो अब जब ज्वला कराला धरणी बहुव क्रुदेर ज्वलद्भिर गगनैश्च तूर्णैः हृषा रविर्दुन्दुभि घोरनादि त्रस्ता धरा दुद् क्या है धराभुद अनुजस्य युद्धे. एवं I need not read all these things. Sandram. Okay. Everything is there. Pritir daya dharya madamya soryam श्रद्धा तितिक्षा विविधाश्च विद्याः अनंत रूपे तुमसी प्रसीद चिरम वसार्ये हृदि भारतानम. तो लास्ट वर्स आई विल कोट. सिंधोन हिमाद्रिम च सुधो सुसौम्य भाषा प्रकाशयन्ति सुदृढ़ प्रतिष्ठा तिष्ठ प्रसन्ना चिरमार्य भूमौ महाप्रतापे जगतो हिताय. Illumining these rivers and snowy mountains with most gentle lusters, be firmly established in this Aryan country. This is his wish. Abide forever gracious in this land. I am going, just coming. O mighty one, for the good of the world. So these examples clearly show that the poet has patriotic feelings and love towards our nation. I would like to conclude my presentation with these words of Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das. Long after the controversy will be hushed in silence, long after this turmoil, the agitation will have ceased. Long after he is dead and gone, he will be looked down upon as the poet of patriotism, as the prophet of nationalism and the lover of humanity. Long after he is dead and gone, his words will be echoed and re-echoed, not only in India but across distant seas and lands. Therefore, I say, Chittaranjan Das says, that the man in his position is not only standing before the bar of this court, but before the bar of the High Court of history. So thank you all. So I had sort of time. I have prepared some 50 slides. Anyway, I could speak something before you. So that's a great opportunity for me. I thank the organizers and I remain here. So thank you all. Thank you.
धन्यवाद सर। अभी मैं अध्यक्ष जी से अनुरोध करूंगी कि प्रोफेसर बनमाली बिस्वाल जी को सम्मानित किया जाए। सर, सर्टिफिकेट।